Phew, it is looking bloody out there, everyone. Across the cryptos and across various asset classes, we are having one bloody red day, and supports are breaking left and right all over the place. We're going to dig into several cryptos, but the one that's headlining is, of course, Ethereum. That was our first sign of trouble, and we not only broke our support yesterday, we haven't recovered at all since that. I got our 2-hour chart up here, and I'm going to zoom up just a little bit. Take a closer look at that. So we broke below our thick red line, and there's no sign of us turning back around anywhere anytime soon. And even the most optimistic estimate, or the optimistic pattern that this is actually ending diagonal, is questionable because we have broken below the diagonal channel trend line. Now, that is something that sometimes happens. You have a spike down before you turn back around. But until we see something more, some more upward movement, I can't really rule out that we could go lower. We have gone as low as 25.63 so far, and some of the other cryptos are following along. So that's the story in Ethereum, which we'll revisit in a second. We've had the supports break in several other cryptocurrencies as well. I'm going to turn this over to the long-term view. We've had Dashcoin break its support a few minutes ago, and it looks like it's actually gone down to the support of 107.21, and it's bounced back up a little bit. It's not clear whether we have more downside follow through or not yet. I'm going to actually zoom into that one real quick just to get a better look at it. There we go. So yeah, we're right at where my alert is set. So no sign of a real reversal just yet. In addition to that, we also have Polkadot and EOS. So I'm going to go and pull up Polkadot real quick. We've broken support in that. My apologies. That was the one I want to show. Okay, so here we are. So this was, of course, based on a 61.8% retrace of our peak. Broken below that. It's it's not all doom and gloom here yet, but we did break below our support. So technically, we haven't invalidated anything yet, but it's making the red pattern look more and more likely. EOS, same thing. We have broken slightly below our support. Just happened a few minutes ago, which was set at 238, and we spiked below that briefly. That gives us a lower low from the low that we hit on December 3rd. So I would expect us to drop into this purple box to continue our pattern. And that would put us somewhere between 214 and 171. Is it worth getting out at this point? I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever your strategy is, would probably be another, what, 20-30% drop from there, something like that. Ethereum, I do believe that it is worth it if you're more of a short-term to intermediate-term trader to get out, because when we look at our big picture on Ethereum, shift over to that real quick. We had a lower target around the 24, oh, I'm sorry, not 24, the 1100 range. That is based on our major support at the 0.764 mark. So again, an Elliott wave Fibonacci pinball, once you hit anywhere around the 1.618 extension for your larger third wave, your fourth wave support is typically 0.764. We didn't come down to that. We actually hit the Fibonacci level above that at 1700-ish. So I know I bought that dip back then. We had what could be 5 waves up. This isn't totally invalid yet, but the way we're moving down, the shape of this thing looks like we may have more to go. Now, I have another pattern on here. Actually, I have multiple other patterns here. We have the green and blue patterns. They're not really that different from one another at this point. I'm actually going to say that the green is the primary, actually the secondary, primary being red. That would call for this entire thing being a 3, 4, 5 up, and we may have a B, C down with the C wave completing at the moment. And this kind of thing does happen. We have a spike down for your wave 2 and then a violent reversal, but you don't know until it reverses. So we would like to see not only a reversal, but we'd like to see a 5-wave impulse back up. That would be our first sign that the bottom is near. So when I say 5 waves up, I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhat higher. You know, we want to break clearly through 3,000, preferably into the mid 3,000s range. Then we want to see a 3-wave pullback to ensure that we have an impulsive setup and a corrective wave back before we can start loading back in again. At least that's my personal plan. If you've been holding and you're planning to continue to hold, this is just another thing for you to, maybe another opportunity to buy if you're trying to add to your position. That's where we're going now. I'm going to shift over to Bitcoin, which is also getting frighteningly close to what I would call the invalidation point. So I have an alert set at one of the significant micro Fibonacci's right at 35,920. Got an alert set right there. This whole purple box would be standard pullback range for our larger wave 1 impulse down. Let me shift over to Bitcoin on this chart. This is the one that I have posted links to in previous videos. We've clearly fallen through our preferred extension, or preferred support in this case, which was at 38,000. This is, of course, the logarithmic chart. We should not have fallen through that if we were going to see a reversal in the second wave bounce. This is giving us more and more of that potential that we are going to fall directly down. And even in the linear chart, same kind of thing. We should not have, well, we shouldn't fall any lower than about 32,768. So again, slight different parameters in the linear chart. That breaks, we're probably going to go right down into the basement. Where does that leave us for Bitcoin? That is, I believe, what I had 24,000 as our setup. So it's just like with Ethereum, we hit the 1.618 target very closely. Support will be at 0.764. In Bitcoin, we did actually pull back lower than the 1.0 extension. That was the major support, unlike in Ethereum. But now we're spiking down. We haven't broken the supports yet, but we're getting very close to that point. So all this still applies. We are very close to breaking this green pattern that, well, it wasn't the primary move. That's the secondary. So getting close to invalidating that particular support level. And like I mentioned, we'll have a confirmation once we get below 35 to 32,000 to the $35,000 range. 28.8 would be the confirmation. That is the lower low that we hit down here. If we break that, that is the end of this whole thing being an impulse. Because remember, when you have a one wave up, impulse wave up, and a corrective wave down, you can retrace the entire thing. But if you go below that point of origin, then it's done. Capiche, you're done. But you don't want to wait that long to get out if you're trying to exit Bitcoin because, well, our support's at $24,000. So at that point, you might as well just keep holding it. But that's where we sit right now. A couple other cryptos are getting pretty close to their supports as well. Ethereum Classic got some cushion below us. Bitcoin Cash, I don't think I put a support here. There was a potential for a lower low anyway. And I don't have the red pattern listed right here at the moment. So I'm actually going to put one right here. The 1-to-1 ratio of our C wave is going to hit the 1-to-1 ratio of our initial A wave, which is actually listed as a W here, would be right around $185. That would complete a larger fourth wave. Actually, it could be a larger second wave. Not sure, it could be a 2 or a 4, whatever it is. That would fall somewhere in this range. So there is reason to exit Bitcoin Cash if you are, well, if we expect our low to go this low. Truth is here, I'm going to actually probably present something on this pretty soon, what the support level should be. But if you start seeing all these other coins break their supports, that's a very good sign that Bitcoin Cash is well on its way to doing the same thing. And like I mentioned, Ethereum Classic, $21, right around that point. Litecoin got something at about 104. That's when my alarms will go off. Exit at that point. A couple of other ones I already covered: Dash, DOT, Solana. It has more or less broken. I don't have a parameter set up here right now, and I haven't done an update on this in a while. But if this were an impulsive fifth wave up or a 5-wave impulse up, we would not have broken back below the origin point, which was around 116.09, something like that. We've broken it. So I'm about to exit Solana as well. Technically, the support is broken in that one. A couple other ones, Chainlink. This one, like I said, we're very close. We are about $2 away from support. So once that breaks, we very well may be getting all the way down to the lower target. Again, 1355 is our basically our breaking point. If we break that, we're going well below $10, very likely. Stellar Lumens. Okay, so we hit the support, bounced. EOS, like I mentioned, we already broke it in a small bounce at the moment. Polygon, man, we really destroyed our ending diagonal here. It could still be an ending diagonal, but ending diagonals are the end of a rally. So it looks very nice as an ABC with the break of this bottom channel trend line, signifying the start of potentially a very ugly pullback there. And of course, I'm going to bring up SHIB. I haven't done an update on this in a little while. I'm going to zoom up just a bit, take a closer look. There's really no formal support level on this thing, just because of how quickly it rocketed up. We are well into the acceptable pullback range for what I was calling a wave 2. And I have this alternate red pattern based on what we have here so far, which could put us as low as 0.00001286, 1268. I know that's, I'm going to put that in English for you guys. That's kind of Greek to me. That would be another 50% drop from where we are right now if this continued as is. So that's a word of warning right there that SHIB may be following the same thing. And just goes to show you that whole idea of Bitcoin and Ethereum giving you the most clear indication of sentiment. definitely seeing it here. Those two start breaking their supports, and you're seeing how the altcoins are following. So we're going to see if altcoin season happens or not. Got plenty of explanations for why this might be happening from a fundamental perspective, but I follow the fibs. I follow Elliott wave analysis. This is where my analysis leads us to, this little conclusion leads me to. So if you want to keep getting updates, don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to keep following this, do more frequent updates. And of course, with any dip, there's going to be a dip buying opportunity. So I'll be highlighting those tactics out as this unfolds. Again, we're not out of the woods yet. This may take a few more days, maybe a few more weeks, maybe even a few more months. And that chance that may turn back and reverse violently is still there. So stay on your toes. Until next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.